Evidence for what?
Evidence for a beginning of the universe.
Yes.
Well, we know that. Nobody
All
disputes
right, well,
that.
that's what I'm offering in this first argument, is the evidence.
But
But why?
because there's a
'Cause nobody
beginning
disputes
doesn't
it.
imply a God.
It does if the first premise is true, that whatever begins to exist has a cause. It logically follows.
Yeah,
that
but it
therefore-
doesn't. But the cause hasn't got to be God.
Well, remember I gave an argument for thinking that this cause is timeless,
Yes, I know.
spaceless, immaterial, enormously powerful, and personal.
I think it's a computer.
Well, that wouldn't, computers are designed by people. I
No, this is a self-designing computer.
Timeless.
Timeless.
Well, that's a contradiction in terms.
Why is it time? What's contradictory about it?
A computer has to function, it takes
Oh
time.
no, this is a special computer.
Yeah, but it has to be logically coherent.
Oh, it's logically coherent.
Yes, you have to be
Oh
logically
no,
coherent.
this
And
computer
besides-
is amazing.
No, besides, it would have to be, as I said, a personal being.
No.
And a computer is a physical.
Not this computer.
Object.
Oh
Well, then,
no.
Okay, see, what you're doing is what you're calling a computer is really God. A non-physical, It's just another word if you rob it of all the attributes that make it a computer.
Surely Gates is God.
It's astounding how atheists like Wolpert are willing to accept any other form of a cause for the creation of the universe except God. Wolpert is ready to accept that a special form of computer created the whole universe, but fails to acknowledge that the computer cannot assemble on its own to properly function. This argument is at best absurd.
He's making a knowledge claim.
But he's
God
not.
does not exist.
Oh, right.
See, that's a knowledge claim. It's the agnostic who makes no knowledge
I
claim.
don't say God does not exist. I say there's no evidence for God.
All right, well, then that's mere agnosticism.
No.
Yeah.
No, we atheists say we do not believe that God exists.
Well, that's compatible with God existing, you see.
No.
That's mere agnosticism.
No, it's not.
Atheism says that God does not exist, which is a claim to know something and therefore requires
I'm
justification.
terribly, this atheist doesn't say this. He just says there's no evidence for God.
All right, well, how would you differentiate yourself then from an agnostic?
Agnostic says I'm clueless as to whether God exists or not, and I'm a coward to try and make up my mind.
Oh, no, well, now that's pejorative.
Yes, it is pejorative, and I mean it to be pejorative.
All right, what about the non-cowardly agnostic, like Bertrand Russell, say, who says, I don't know whether God exists, I don't know whether God does not exist.
Well, that's agnostic, yes.
Well, that's what you are.
No.
Well,
Good
okay,
Lord.
then give us, if you're not that, then you need to give us some warrant for the belief that there is no God.
No. I just say
Otherwise,
I know of no evidence or any reason to believe in God whatsoever. This is a supernatural being for which I know of no evidence, and he's done nothing that I know of in the last 2,000 years.
This is pure arrogance on the part of Wolpert to debate a theist and give no substantial point for his disbelief in God. He claims that for the last 2,000 years, there's nothing that God has done to show his existence. Historical records prove him wrong, because God has shown himself clearly to mankind through the incarnation of his Son, Jesus Christ. The fact that Jesus came, lived, died, and resurrected is one of the best proofs that God has not abandoned humanity but desires to save and redeem it for his glory.
Why did you lose your faith?
Me?
We know why. We know
yes,
why Bill,
it's-
how Bill found it. But
It's shameful. When I was young, I used to pray to God to help me with various things. My prayers weren't answered, so it was purely pragmatic. I gave it up.
There can be many reasons as to why prayers aren't answered. The Bible makes it plain that God does hear prayers. There are millions of prayers that are answered around the globe. However, God cannot answer prayers that go against his own nature, will, and purpose. There are also multiple instances where God does not listen to selfish prayers, sinful prayers, and prideful prayers. Based on that, one can safely say that the efficacy of prayers does not necessarily prove or disprove God's existence. Thanks for watching. God bless you.